The views and opinions expressed on this program do not reflect the company, owners, management, staff, clients, or partners.
It's Monday, the 9th day of August, 2021. Welcome to the Daily Hour, brought to you by Medical House One Communications and Lindo's. I'm Jamel Hartman, along with Michaela Ian, and Anna Lambert will be with us in a bit to bring us the latest in her news break from the weekend. Kales, it's Monday. How was your weekend?
You see how burnt I am?
I was going to say the lighting's a little low today. Yeah, I look good.
Listen, I had a great time on Friday, a little too much fun, but that's a story I will not share on air. And then that was Friday. Saturday, complete chill out, relaxation. Yesterday, watched the boat, and then went to Tobacco Bay for the rest of the day. So yeah, got some sun.
Sun's not a bad thing. Little
So
vitamin
I'm not
D.
mad at it. I'm not.
No.
I mean, I had on my hat, had my shades, had my sunblock. Still got a lot of sun. So how was the rest of your Martha's Vineyard adventure?
Actually, I've got to share some stuff on social media. So you guys know I'm not an ocean person. I've done a jet ski once in my life, never again. I was probably about 9 or 10. But I went kayaking, and I don't do that stuff. And I went kayaking in water that doesn't look like Bermuda's. So I'm going to share some videos on social media today. But had a couple of kayaking races with my brother.
Oh, you raced? You raced?
Yeah, we had some races up.
With the potential that you could fall in the water that you couldn't see through?
Oh, well, let's just say 2 of the 5 did flip their kayaks.
Oh.
I won my races. I didn't have to worry about flipping. And
all right.
I had my phone, and I was just like, I'm not flipping this thing. Like, although I have a Samsung and we could take on water. But no, it was it was a good vacation. And what I will say, I weren't even planning on talking about it, but what I will say, you know what? I'll tell it in a second. Let me just say good morning to everyone, and thanks for making us part of your daily routine. A good one today. As we begin the week, Michaela and I will be discussing credibility in the age of social media. So you want to get in on this conversation, credibility in the age of social media. This is a conversation you all want to be a part of and you want to share. The Daily Play is a Who Said It, so Michaela will be guessing the author of a famous quote, all right? She finally had an off week last week, folks, but I think she'll be back to normal. She'll be back to normal today. She'll be back. But no, Kales, so yesterday, so those who don't know Martha's Vineyard, it's island off Massachusetts, right? It's an island off Massachusetts. It's an island where rich and famous traditionally have owned homes. Pretty up there. Much bigger than Bermuda, believe it or not, but less populated. Not as much inhabitants. But I preference it by saying that first went in 2018. This is my second go round. And obviously a certain person was having their 60th birthday this weekend. And so usually it's like African American week, first, second week of August. So it's a lot more of us that you will see, Black people. Well, there were a lot of celebs. I don't know who's who. Any celebs I recognize is Sherry, Larry, Michaela, and Leanna. I outside of that, I'm just saying. But so it was a relaxing place. I met up with a few Bermudians. I'm not sure I can say the names. You on social media, you'll see who was there. A couple of Bermudians. We had breakfast on Friday morning. And then in the afternoon, I actually had lunch with former Premier Dr. the Honorable Ewart Brown. That was a good conversation. And for those who know or don't know, Dr. Brown and we were at odds throughout his premiership. Very public spats between he and I and Bermudians Against the Draft. But always good to have conversations, even with those,
Yes.
you don't agree with, those that you may have different political, positions with. But business wise, he's an admirable businessman, arguably to most people. So great conversation and great to catch up with the Honorable Dr. Ewart Brown on Martha's Vineyard. That said, while it was relaxing and I kind of wasn't on vacation because I was working, and that's something that we discussed last week, folks. You got to take time for yourself. So that was probably a mistake I made. But what I will say is yesterday, and my wife said it last night, whenever you're traveling, always make sure that day is specifically for travel. Our first flight was delayed 2 hours. Let's talk about Martha's Vineyards Airport.
Please do, because I haven't been there in ages, so I can't remember how it all goes.
Well, Bermudians always have a complaint about our airport. Our airport, I haven't even seen the new one, is a gem. Martha's Vineyard Airport, mainly, come on, it's a lot of private flights, so most people catch ferry probably, right? Well, I thought people were joking when they said the departures area was under a tent. So if it's raining, well, it's under a tent. There's no departure lounge. So you're under a tent and delayed for about 2 hours. I'm not lying with what I'm about to tell you, folks. The bathrooms were porta potties. That's what they're called, right?
Were they air-conditioned porta potties or just porta potties?
I think they were probably. I went in there and almost killed myself because I had to hold my breath. But
yeah, how is it a playground for the rich and famous? And that's
because they don't go through that airport like.
Oh right, like the rest of us peasants, right?
Yeah, all of those private jets there. That's
right.
Go through. So well, in fairness, there were a lot of celebs. Like I said, President Barack Obama had a party there on the weekend. So like on my flight, Common the rapper, he was there, and then my wife kind of, I guess, put on social media like finding out who these other people were. The guy Jordan Peele that had Get Out the movie,
yeah,
his co-host colleague guy, Keegan, key person there.
Yeah.
The mother from Love and Basketball.
Her name is Alfre Woodard. She is not the mother from Love and Basketball.
This is why you're here, Kills. I can't remember. I don't know celebrities.
Alfre Woodard. Like, come on.
Alfre Woodard. Yeah, what Michaela said. And then the other guy who I was talking to, he had a dog. He's a former basketball player. I don't know his name, but him, it was a bunch of people. And saying that, I was just like, oh, I guess they wish they had a private jet about now, because that experience in the departure lounge in Martha's Vineyard, I don't know, Kales.
Listen, there's rich and there's wealthy, and then there's private jet wealthy.
Yeah, there's levels to it. And then there's people who like me. But no, our flights were delayed about 6 hours, and we didn't get home. We were supposed to get home like 7:24. We didn't get home till like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Wow. So what's the route? I'm just curious. Does it fly to Boston?
We went going there. We flew through Boston. Coming back, we flew through New York. Okay. So yeah, I would say, when I think of Martha's Vineyard, I think of a St. George's on steroids. I think that of Newport, Rhode Island as well. One of the things I was having a conversation with our Bermudian friends we had breakfast with on Friday before they flew back to Bermuda, and they made a lot of great points. Like, if Martha's Vineyard can be this full and attract people, and it really doesn't have much, like, you're not going there for nightlife. You're not going there for anything but relaxation. Like, why can't Bermuda just sell boring? We don't always have to do something. But one of the things I was honest about is, truth be told, a lot of Bermudians do not travel. We don't travel to places just to relax. We take shopping trips. More people are taking adventures now, right? But it's Martha's Vineyard really has nothing on Bermuda, but it's all about attracting people. One of the things I put on Facebook, Michaela, is that so many of the workers are seasonal. I realized that in 2018, like, a lot of Jamaican people will come up there and work just for the summer because Jamaica season's opposite to Martha's Vineyard. But I was like, Bermudians would not have that. Like, Bermudians would be frontline. No way. Why non-Bermudians working here, right? So it's an interesting experience. But yeah, that's where I'm at for it. Yeah, yeah.
That's where you're at. And this is the thing, like traveling for relaxation, like we talked about last week. I love it. Listen, I just want to be in a beautiful space. Mind you, that Martha's Vineyard Ocean is not it. Um, but just a beautiful space. I want spa treatments.
Mhm,
I want beautiful food and wine. I
mhm.
want to sleep in. I want beautiful room service, breakfast delivered. Like I want all of that. And I just want to chill out and do nothing but read a book.
Yeah, and that's okay. Not every vacation needs to be active and so on. Like so it's okay to do nothing. I think people shame on it. It was Keegan Michael Pio. Well, yeah, I think Michaela corrected me. Look, I don't know. I don't know.
Nikki, come get your husband, okay?
I don't know
Come
these
get
people.
this guy.
And Sherry says, "Did you get pictures?" No.
Of course he didn't.
Here's the thing. You had like TSA people running up to them asking for pictures and so on, and I'm just like, is it really? I don't know. Tell me.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that. The only person in my life, actually, there's probably two people. The only two people that you would ever see me be like, "Can I please take a picture?" is Beyonce and Rihanna. That's
Uh,
it.
well, you know what? I would run up to Michaela and Larry and Sherry and Leanna and ask for pictures with them, folks. So, like I said, they're my celebrities. But well, I know people. I know you guys got some pictures. You saw some people, and on out there over your weekend, right?
Over where?
Didn't you see some? Or do you remember? You had that much to drink on Friday. Didn't you see some people? Didn't you see some people and you took
I
pictures with?
did see some wonderful fans of the show on Friday. Yes, so thank you so much to the lovely people that I had conversations with pre the end of the day.
Yeah, and Lee, I think she's got a story for us as well. But look, real quickly, let's switch. And don't forget, we're gonna talk about credibility today, folks. So
Yes.
you don't want to miss that conversation. I'm gonna be honest with you before I even ask the question. I did not watch any of the Olympics live except Flora Duff's entire race. I didn't
Same.
watch the sprints. I didn't watch basketball. I didn't watch the football. I didn't watch anything. So I can't really give an honest opinion. But the Olympics ended apparently, right? And you're talking about a person that loves sports and traditionally, I just was not interested in the Olympics without Usain Bolt,
Yeah.
Michael Phelps. The way that I felt the media, not necessarily the media, but the way that I felt Simone Biles was being treated unfairly, I was not interested in it.
Yeah.
I did watch highlights of the Jamaican girls and was happy for that, but I just was not into the Olympics. Go ahead, Kale.
Yeah, I wasn't into the Olympics either. I mean, I saw Allyson Felix is now the most decorated track athlete, which is incredible. She's now running faster at 35 as a mother than she ran when she was in her 20s. That's incredible. But again, I'm catching all of this after the fact. I watched Laura. That was it. Like, and normally I love it, right? But this, I don't know. It just,
I didn't get into it. Let's ask the audience. Like, did you all get into the Olympics? What was your favorite moment of the Olympics? I mean, it has to be one thing as a Bermudian. What your favorite moment was?
Yeah.
What were some highlights of the Olympics for you? I just weren't. I didn't get into it. I just outside and I watched Flora Duffy because I'm like, I mean, let me see. Everyone's talking about the Bermudian. Let's see what's happening with Flora Duffy. Let's hope she performs. Let's see what her performance is like. It just felt like you had to watch it, but I did not get into the Olympics, and I was a Usain Bolt freak. Like I could not get enough of watching Usain Bolt, and for not having Usain Bolt there for me was a big thing. It was a big thing.
I agree. And like, I'm not trying to disrespect any of the athletes, but I just felt like the star power.
Right.
It just wasn't there. You know what I mean? And I mean, I follow Shelly Ann Fraser Price on Instagram. I followed her for years. I like her a lot. I think she's amazing. Like she's running even faster now that she's a mother, similar to Allyson Felix. But there was just no no oomph, no like, oh, Usain Bolt's about to race, we're ready, like let's go, let's sit, let's watch, let's see how fast it's gonna smoke them, like even Michael Phelps, like you said. But I'm just, I don't know. Maybe it was just an off year. Maybe because, like you said earlier, the time zone. Maybe it had something to do with the lack of fans in the stadiums. I don't know. It just
Yeah. No, I feel you. And I read somewhere, I think I follow Front Office, was something where they said that the numbers were down. And I'm like, it's interesting. You would think the numbers would be up since there's less people live in attendance. I at least I thought, but I think you make a great point, Michaela. The star power, like it probably lacked
yeah,
star power that past Olympics have. I was happy to see that the U.S. women went out against Canada. I'm gonna be honest with you. And Canada won gold. Uh,
yeah.
I know my
For
wife's
for football, right?
yeah, she won
Yeah,
bronze with them years ago. So Canada beating them was a good thing to see.
yeah. And I
Um,
mean, I just feel like maybe they're just the personalities weren't there. And I mean, listen, as a Black person, I love to see very confident, borderline cocky Black
mm,
sports personalities. I love it. I
mhm.
live for it because it's like we are ostracized on a daily basis for everything that we do. We're showing up. We are killing this. We are the best in the world. Let's go.
Yeah,
And like I didn't get any of that. And I'm just like, but what happened? What happened to all of that?
I'm in. I will say this: it's happened. It's not going to happen. But I think what may have helped my interest is if Shakari Richardson
Yeah,
was there, because I would have loved to see the Jamaican girls still do what they did
Muslim
against
her.
her. Yeah,
Yeah,
honestly. But
yeah,
I think for a highlight moment for me, I think was seeing the clean sweep by Jamaica.
yeah.
In the sprints,
That was
I love it, man.
Yeah, that was beautiful for me. And it's just unfortunate that, I mean, obviously, obviously for years, there's been,
Mm,
rivalry between Jamaica and the US.
mm,
And I love to see it as a fellow island person, as a fellow
mm.
member of the Caribbean, whether people like to say it or not. I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
Jamaica's like smaller than what, Rhode Island, I think. I can't remember the state that the comparison is. And to constantly showcase and feature world class athletes that win year after year after year, it's just beautiful to me. So, like, all the Americans who hate on them, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to
indeed.
hear it.
The Chica Trot says her moment was Flora. Sean Smith said, I did not watch it at all, was not interested. And I kind of think I was on Sean Smith. And for me, I think time zone played a difference too, though, Sean, for me. Time zone played a difference for me. What do you think your reason for no interest was, Sean, if you want to share? Sam Cat play skills.
Morning. After Flora, I wasn't interested. Unusual for me, but hey, we got our go. That's kind of how I feel too.
Yeah, and the Chica Trot US feed / commentary was not good.
Mm.
Yeah, that's usually the case. Janelle Pereira Edna says the track had some great moments. Women's triple jump, Olympic record, and world record broken. Men's and women's high jump was good too. I did see comments about it. You know what always freaks me out? That synchronized swimming stuff.
You watch that?
I saw highlights of it on Twitter, right? And people were fascinated, and I'm just like, I I don't.
I feel like that's something my granny should be doing. I don't. What is this?
I feel like, and take this how you will, folks. I feel like certain sports at the Olympics are made up by white folks
Listen,
because they couldn't beat black folks at other things. Honestly, man, I just feel like some sports are just made up by white folks because they want gold medals in things that they couldn't beat black folks
I
in.
mean,
Something-
badminton is an Olympic sport. Like, where they do that at?
what's is that other thing, that Canadian thing, an Olympic sport?
Curling?
Yeah, is that an Olympic sport? It is. Yeah, that's one of the things black folk ain't. Anyway, call a John for you, Michaela.
I couldn't get into it because of the time difference. I had the week off and still couldn't get excited about watching the events after that. Yeah, it just.
And Nikki and Michelle.
I'm happy for the new stars that will come out of this, such as Cindy McLaughlin for New Jersey. Yeah, I don't know who that is. Definitely watch for our two Olympians, especially Flora. The Olympics did lack oomph, but I watched for the energy the athletes put into their craft. Many broke personal bests. favorite other than Flora with the two pole vault shared gold medals. Yeah, I
Yeah.
did see that there were a lot of like personal bests and records broken, which is amazing.
Interesting. Janaea Pereira Edna says, Janae, sorry, Pereira Edna says, well, you would have loved to watch women shot put, can't remember her name, but the woman from USA who placed second had all of that cocky attitude you were looking for.
I
love
know who you're talking about. I'll look her up. I'm pretty sure I know who she is.
I love the swagger. NT Steve says, I watched, there are some new young stars out there. Sydney McLaughlin, a thing move. Women's track and field was fire. I'll have to. I saw the highlights. Like I didn't watch it live. Renee Charlene Simmons. I watched the marathon in Kenya's. Yes, I read that actually before we came on. Is it Eliud Kipchoge? Don't forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Vince his race Olympic moment. Now they say he's the greatest athlete ever in the CNN article I believe I was just reading.
Wow.
I'll have to read it more to get an understanding. Monica Dunstan says, I watched as much of the Olympics as possible other than Flora. My favorite part was always the 4x100s. Really, it's exciting. I heard the U.S.
Oh, yeah.
Malcolm, Ray, and Michaela.
The Olympics was excellent. The star power in other countries, such as Kipchoge, I'm going to mess that up, Kipchoge from Kenya, who won the marathon and is considered the GOAT. Also, Sifan Hassan from the Netherlands, who won gold in the 5,000 and 10,000. She also won bronze. That's amazing.
Yeah, I did see that. Sean Smith, I think both of you said it. There was no star power. It's starting to lose appeal to me. And let's just finish it out. Malcolm Reina said there will be break dancing in the next Olympics in France. All right, Blackfoot, do your thing. Marquita Lee says Flora, yes, but also the Dutch runner in her 1500 heat.
Yes, I saw that.
And went on to win gold. That is great. Sifan Hassan. And let's round it out with Mark Arthur C. Phillips and Amanda Blakeney.
The only event I watched live was the football gold medal final. I'm a Brazil supporter, and it was great to see them in the gold back-to-back. For the most part, I was not interested. And Amanda Blakeney turned off as African female athletes had to deal with the testosterone test and ended up being disqualified for races. What makes a female a female? That pissed me off. Pissed me off.
I think Larry Marshall Jr. kind of breaks it down in the Pure Sports Radio group, why it actually isn't, far off. He kind of broke it down by saying that the times that folks go in a certain period, it is actually normal to look into an investigation because you don't go. And again, you'll have to read his comments. His better suited to speak on that. That's his area of expertise. But he said it's not that the questioning just to question, but he basically stated that when some people's times go from like you knock off a certain amount of time, it does become questionable. But we want to Lee into the conversation. Lee, let's bring you in. I'm so sorry. We got to talking and we just.
It is all good. It's your comment about who made up these new sports for people to participate. I was backstage just having a giggle.
I'm just saying. Come on now. Like some things you got to be honest. Black folk, what was it? Jesse Owens. Black folks start winning sprints, and you can't touch us in most of these sports. And then they just create these new sports and things we have no interest in. Then
badminton. Table tennis.
You must know somebody playing badminton, but it's interesting. I just wonder what next. And breakdance, and if they beat us in that, I told a stereotype about Black folk and rhythm. I have none, but we should take that one.
I think you could do a little two-step.
On my other foot.
Please do not encourage him, Michaela. Do not encourage him.
I'm here for it. Let's go. I'll hype him up.
Let's go over to Lee for the news break. And after that, we'll be talking about credibility in the social media age, folks. This is a conversation that is probably long overdue. Lee, over to you.
Thanks, Jamel and Michaela, and happy Monday to all of those who are tuned in with us. I hope everyone is having a great start to their morning. I'm Leanna Lambert, and it's time for our daily hour news break. Now, here's what took place over the weekend. Bermuda recorded 25 new cases of COVID-19 in just 3 days, with the majority transmitted locally. The Ministry of Health made the announcement last evening saying that of Bermuda's 71 active cases, 61 are of the Delta variant, while 2 are of the Beta. Now, in addition, 64% of the local transmissions are of unvaccinated people, although the ministry said that this includes people who are not eligible for vaccinations. 15 of the new cases are local transmission with a known contact, and the additional 3 new cases are classified as under investigations. Residents with no identified link to another source or known cases or history of travel within 2 weeks. Now, that brings the number of unidentified cases to 13. In other news, a man has suffered life-threatening injuries after he crashed into a road sign late on Saturday night. Officers are said to have responded to reports of a serious single vehicle traffic collision on Crow Lane in Pembroke shortly before 11:30 p.m. Now, according to police, it is understood a male motorcyclist was headed east along Crow Lane when, upon reaching the junction with Corkscrew Hill, he lost control of the bike, collided with a road sign post, and came off the bike. The man was found breathing but unresponsive. Emergency services arrived shortly after and attended to the motorcyclist before he was transported via ambulance to hospital, where he is currently in the intensive care unit, having sustained life-threatening injuries in the collision. The Bermuda Taxis Owners Association was thrown apparently into disarray after its president abruptly resigned after losing a series of motions. Now, on Friday night, the association held its annual general meeting at St. Paul Anglican Church Hall in Paget, the first since 2017, but attendees said it ended in chaos when dissenting owners demanded documentation of the president's activities. Now, after a unanimous passage of the motion, it is said that the members be allowed to have printed copies to be read the official report as it was being presented. David Frost, the association's president, reportedly resigned and stormed out of the meeting. It is understood that Mr. Frost and a member of the executive had to be separated outside the building after he stormed out. After much speculation, a government spokesperson has confirmed that a cabinet minister is overseas receiving medical treatment. Now, rumors started spreading on social media last Friday about the issue, but the spokesperson said that the rumors circulating are untrue, and at this time, no further information will be provided. Neither the identity of the minister nor the severity of the medical condition was given. And many took to the water yesterday as the Bermuda Powerboat Association hosted their 2021 edition of the Round the Island boat race, which started and finished at Ferry Reach. Mark Seeley and Jordan Fletcher won the B class. David Seeley and Matthew Smith won the A class. The S class honors went to Henry Talbot and Andrew Cuttingham. In the jet ski class, the newest category to the races, the winner was Cleveland Maybury. Dakari White was second, and Dean Simmons finished third. Taking a look at today's weather, we have a high near 85 and a low near 79 degrees. It will be mostly sunny today. High pressure ridging continues to maintain sunny days and mostly clear nights over the island. However, a trough moving around the southern edge of the ridge is likely to introduce a few showers to the area towards midweek, but typical summer temperatures and humidity will continue to prevail. That's all for our daily hour news break. Let's head back to Jamal and Michaela in the studio for today's Daily Focus.
Thanks so much, Lee. And I think you started off by speaking about cases in Bermuda, right?
Yes, I did. I said that we have 25 new cases, which is bringing our active cases to 71.
You know, before returning to Florida last night, I read something apparently said on CNN by someone's quoted tweet that if Florida were not a part of the U.S., that the U.S. would ban Florida people from flying into the U.S. from Florida. I can say this much: you'll have your opinions, but folks, you know what? I'm not going to say too much. We'll have Eugene Dean on this Friday. Yeah, we'll leave that for Friday. We'll have Eugene Dean, great spokesman for the Bermuda Freedom Alliance, and we'll talk about that Friday. Before Friday we have Flora on. So thank you for that, Lee. And you also mentioned an accident. I just want to say to Bermudians, slow down, be considerate. It's too much. It's too much. Let's take our time on the roads. Lee, as always, appreciate you. Hey, look, you got a birthday this weekend.
I do.
Got a
On
birthday this weekend.
Sunday. It's
Just
funny, I
ready.
have to watch after work Connie game all day on Saturday, and then Sunday is my actual birthday.
Well, I might not be able to, I was planning on hopefully seeing you on your birthday, whatever you were doing, showing up and just, buying you a drink or something. But apparently I have to wait until I get test results and Bermuda and so I might not be able to see you. So I'm gonna blame our friend Dr. Krika Weldon. Let's put it on. Let's put it on. No, I like she makes it.
Jeez, I
That's my
thought we
girl. That's
liked
my girl.
Dr.
You are on
Weldon.
fire this
That's my
morning.
girl. That's my girl. That's my girl. That's my girl. But no, honestly, I don't know what you plan on doing, but we're gonna be celebrating you every day. So happy birthday to Liana today, tomorrow, right up through Sunday, folks. And we will. Oh, look at the glass. What?
Yay.
Hopefully she's got water. She's got a long day ahead, folks.
It's tea. It is tea this morning.
So we'll see you tomorrow, Lee. Have a great one.
See you guys tomorrow.
All righty. Look, we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back after this. Do not go anywhere. Credibility.
Mom's celebrating her 70th birthday next month. Have you noticed her age is catching up with her?
Yeah. Plus, she's having a hard time getting up and around like she's used to. I would sure hate to see her fall.
At Medical House Limited, we can help make life situations easier. We have electric beds, motorized scooters, bath stools, walkers, you name it.
Mom's been real good to us. We'll get her birthday and Christmas gifts from Medical House.
Medical House has relocated next to the Dendy Town Field. Number 6 Bakery Lane, Pembroke. Telephone 292-3622.
We're welcoming back the often featured Whole Food veterans Bragg Live Food Products, renowned for their live probiotic organic raw cider vinegar and savory seasonings. Paul Bragg is the man behind the products that has originated health food stores, restaurants, and spas, and promoted nutrition education through the media, helping lay the foundation for the enlightened way we make healthful choices when we shop for and prepare food. This month we're featuring Bragg Organic Raw and Unfiltered Apple Cider Vinegar and Organic Extra Virgin Olive Oil. Lindo's, why go anyplace else?
All right, welcome back to the big show. She's Michaela and I'm Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour brought to you by Medical House One Communications, Lindo's, and our friends over at Channel 82, where you can stream this and many other locally produced shows. So today, here's the question. I'll just put it out there. Today's question is, what are your thoughts on credibility in the age of social media? I think this is an important topic for so many reasons. We're living in a time where Twitter has pretty much made everyone a reporter, right? A journalist. We retweet things. We share things. We're living in a pandemic, right now, and everyone has an opinion on this pandemic. We search for things that align with our beliefs, right? We share these beliefs regardless of who we are. We see people in high positions doing it, right? We see people in positions that of trust that are doing this stuff, and then we get shown that no, you're not sharing factual information. We're not checking our sources anymore. One of the things that I make sure I do on this show is I have people that watch this show that really have our back, and they'll say, hey, no, such and such and such, and I will retract and come back or apologize for something I said. But I guess the question of the day is, what are your thoughts on credibility in the age of social media? And I guess Michaela, being the one with journalistic a background and experience, probably has a greater understanding of it from an educational perspective and experience perspective.
Yeah, I think that when it comes to credibility, we talk about personal responsibility on this show all the time, right? And that absolutely applies to social media. I think that, like you said, so many of us see things that align with our beliefs, because you have to remember, Facebook shows you what it wants you to see. Mm-hmm. Right? Twitter shows you what it wants you to see. Instagram shows you what it wants you to see. So if you, and I'm not knocking anybody here, I'm not going to do that. But if you are someone who fully believes that COVID-19 is a conspiracy and governments planned it, X, Y, Z, you're going to be shown that kind of content because you're already engaging with that kind of content. And so it's going to make it easier for you to then share this sort of information. However, you have a responsibility to ensure that what you are sharing is credible. So for instance, Jamal and I, we have this platform, right? So we have a responsibility, not only a personal responsibility, but we have a responsibility as co-host of a show that is credible. So we have to make sure that even on our personal accounts, the information that we are sharing is factual. Because otherwise it's going to be, oh, well, Michaela and Jamala up here on this show running their mouths talking about XYZ and they don't even know what they're talking about. That was a fake article, XYZ, and we can't do that, and I think for me, I'm even more sensitive to it because I was a journalist for a very long time. I am Press Association Multimedia certified, which means I studied in the UK and passed exams and all of that. And we went into, when I say went into depth, like you have to know all of these things because as a journalist, you must be credible because if you're not credible, you're nothing.
Well, once you lose credibility, when are people to believe you again? I remember when I was in college, they would use the former president, Bill Clinton, right? Remember, he kept denying that he had, an affair with Monica Lewinsky.
Yes.
And then one day he just said, yes, I indeed did have sexual relations with
that woman.
That woman, that's how he referred to her. And people, in essence, like, okay, he lied to you. When are you to believe him again? And so credibility is a serious thing. We've seen Dan Rather, former CBS news anchor. We've seen Brian Williams, former NBC news anchor, both, highlighted stories of news anchors who have been caught up. But there are consequences for this. But these are people who were actual journalists in media. What are the consequences for people who are sharing information, though? Are there consequences? In Bermuda, there's a no suing kind of culture, right? So how do you do something in Bermuda where, I see it almost daily where I'm just like, the retweeting and people want it this weekend. And I don't want to speak about specifics, but there are people, we're not checking our sources. And Michaela, I don't know if you have it within but I just remember when I was doing my MBA, a research paper in high school is very different from one in college. And the abstract, it's research, folks, takes more than just finding something that aligns with your opinion.
Yes, and that's why I laugh when people say, oh, I've done so much research, and this is why I'm not getting the vaccine. Oh, you've done more research than your doctor. Okay, sure.
Well, I think there's so many different aspects. I'll use the example with Larry Marshall Jr. last night, right? Where we had a comment earlier questioning the testosterone of the African athletes, right? The Black athletes. And for me, I immediately called race, right?
Yeah.
And he checked me. He's like, no. He said, no, actually, when certain things happen in sport, like if and I'm just going to use an example, folks. So don't take what I'm saying as what he actually said, because I don't remember actually what Larry Marshall Jr. actually said to me. But it was something like, if you knock off, say, 6 seconds off your time over a certain distance in let's say 6 weeks, that's unheard of, right? That's unheard of. So those are the reasons. So for me, it was like, on the surface, I'm saying this just don't seem right. I shared the story, shaking my head. He added context to it to say, no, this is kind of normal that they'll look into it with da-da-da-da-da, right? So I think that wasn't me doing research. It was me sharing a story that says, no, this is happening too much. He then comes along and adds something. I didn't argue with Larry. I didn't say, oh, you're wrong. This is happening all the time. It's race. I didn't do any of that stuff. You know what I did? Yeah. I said, well, you would know better than me. And then I started asking Larry questions. But what we have right now, I'm going to give you one more example. And I probably shared this before. The editor of the Royal Gazette, Dexter Smith, when the pandemic first started in Bermuda, the shutdowns, and they started having the press conferences, twice a week or whatnot, right?
Three. No, it was every day for a while.
Probably every day. And I said, I said it on this show, I'm not interested in watching this press conferences, boring politicians, this and that. And Dexter Smith reached out. He said, that's irresponsible. You cannot discuss something just based on reading a report or whatnot. You actually have to tune in. So and I argued and I said, no, he's absolutely correct. Right? I say all this, folks, to say this. Not everything needs to be about you being right. So I've learned. And not everything needs to be an argument or debate. Some things, wait for it, can actually be learning moments.
Yes. Absolutely. And that's the thing about it, because like we talked about how Bermuda's kind of like not anti, but you don't really see many lawsuits here, right? But the thing about it is when you talk about the media, that's when you can have lawsuits. So real quick, one of my faves, Duchess Meghan, her and Prince Harry don't play. Like Duchess Meghan, for me, is the epitome of a classy F around and find out. Like you wanna run your mouth, you're gonna find out. But she does it so classy, right? Because she's classy, right? So she's like, oh, you wanna come for me? Cease and desist. Oh, you don't want to cease and desist? You want to print lies? We're suing you. Oh, you think I'm gonna back down? You're paying my lawyer fees, you're paying damages, and we won. And guess what? That check's going to charity. You know what I mean? And when you are in the media, you have to be credible. You have to print things that are true. And when you are in positions of authority, whether you are a doctor, a lawyer, a politician, etc., you have even more on you to ensure that the information that you are sharing, especially in this pandemic world where everybody's, everything is so divisive, everybody has their own opinions, everybody thinks they're right, it's even higher. The responsibility is even higher for you to ensure and to fact check. Because if you're someone who is trusted by the community and you're out here sharing incorrect information, that's a problem, because it doesn't take a long time for you to ensure that this information is correct. It doesn't.
It's lazy, Michaela. And I think, I have a couple of business partners, right? And one of them always says to me, and this is how I operate my life: stay in your lane.
Yes.
And stay in your lane doesn't mean not to grow. It doesn't mean to stay where you are. It means if this is your area of expertise, focus on being great at that.
Yes.
The problem is sometimes we want to do everything, and we don't realize we're not good at anything.
Hello.
You feel what I'm saying? Like,
hello.
It's the old saying, jack of all trades, master at none. She could random Michaela.
It used to be that you could tune into certain news networks for the truth, but even now they have social media segments in their programming that they report on. Sometimes they take the time to challenge the credibility of the post, but other times it's entertainment. Very good point. But that's the thing, Jamal. It's like everybody want to clout chase.
Yeah.
Everybody want to clout chase. And it's like, no. Like, no. Like there's the 4 zones, right? So a zone of incompatibility. Wait, I'm going to get this wrong. It's zone of genius, zone of excellence, zone of compatibility. I think zone of incompatibility. I'm probably messing up the last 2. But it's like if you are trying to do things in every area other than your zone of genius, you need to stop. Because your zone of genius is the zone where you do it better than most people, where you can charge the money and all of that. So for me, it doesn't make sense to be out here, oh yeah, I can do this, so let me do it and let me run my mouth. No. Stay in your lane. Focus on that thing, that one thing that you're really good at, and don't try to clout chase. No, we're not interested in that.
It's interesting you mentioned clout chase, and I want to touch on that. What are your thoughts on credibility in the social media age? Want to hear from you, the audience. MP Thomas Christopher Famous says, good topic. It's get subjective as research. Sources can conflict.
I don't agree. The facts are the facts.
And he goes on to, and I want to go to deeper on what the facts are. He also says, but people tend to have behavior patterns on social media. Some simply post non-credible stuff on a regular, and they end up losing credibility. Well, facts are the facts, and facts cannot be subjective, but I understand perspectives can differ. So, for instance, what I mean by that, if I'm standing on one side of the road and Michaela's on the other side, and we both see an accident happen, we actually will have different perspectives.
Yes.
We'll have different perspectives. But I'm pretty sure if the accident, let's say, someone struck someone from behind, right? I know we're living in a different time and I don't know the laws, but the law used to be, it's always the person in back's fault.
Yes.
But let's say that person who was in front stopped short because they were on their phone. Does that change it now? Does Michaela, because her angle shows the person on the phone, change my angle saying, oh, that person just weren't paying attention and struck the car in front of them because they weren't paying attention. But Michaela says, well, no, the person in front was on their phone and was looking down. Like, you got what I'm saying? Like, the fact is that an accident happened. The old rule, which once was, says it's the person who hit the person that was behind them. But Michaela says, from her perspective, no, this person's at fault, despite what the law may say, because they were on their phone and stopped short.
Yeah. But I think so much of it, like you said earlier, has to do with the fact that people are out here sharing information that aligns with their beliefs.
Yeah.
So for them, they don't care if it's right.
Yeah. Well, I think, again, it goes back to people want to, a lot of people don't want facts or the truth. I say this all the time. They want what they believe to be someone to agree with what they believe. That's what they want. Most people are starting to get to this place where they want people to agree with what they believe. Rashida, Godwin, Michaela.
It's the most responsible thing. It's the most responsible thing you can do is always do your research. And what's unfortunate, most people don't. And it's about who gets the information out there first tends to be the truth, and it's not. Yes. We have to be responsible and truthful with the information we give out. Yes, because everybody want to be first, because that goes back to clout chasing. That's what it goes back to. And it's like, no, I don't want to be out here giving out information first if it's not correct. And I say this as being a reporter. I need to make sure that my information is factual.
Yeah.
Is this true?
That right there, Michaela, is it. Everybody wants to be first, even with social media, everybody. And I'll share this publicly. We could have had Flora Duffy first. A lot of people won't never know that. She'd have come on this show first. But what we want to do is make sure the audience has an opportunity to engage. We want to make sure the audience has an opportunity to know she's coming. It's not about being first with the Daily Hour. It's about what works best for our audience. Even when it comes to breaking news and stuff, we've probably broken two things. It doesn't matter to me.
No, it's all about quality content.
Exactly, but I want to go back to clout chasing because this is big. You know what was one of the most disturbing things to me?
What?
The clout score thing that Don Burgess used to do on Bermuda's or Bermuda Sun. That to me was the stupidest thing ever, and it had Bermudians thinking that it meant something, right? Let's be very clear. Outside of maybe Carly Buds, Bermuda Tourism, John, the wrestler guy, a few people. It really meant nothing for nobody, right? Most people who had these high clout scores, all they did was post 100 times a day on social media. Clout chasing for adults, and I'm going to repeat our sister, Sherry, is annoying from anyone, especially grown adults. Cindy Swan says, social media can be it is to most people, and I love social media. I appreciate social media has given us the opportunity to communicate with you all right now. I love what we're able to do with it, the good stuff. But folks, got a grip. You don't have to do stuff.
Listen, we talk about this all the time, okay? And I say this as someone who has an online business. You think I care about how many people like my posts? You think I care about how many people comment on my posts? How many followers I have? No. I care about how many people who follow me, who I can convert into paying clients.
Yeah.
That's what I care about. I care about making money on social media. So yeah, I might put up a little cute photo, get a little 200, 300 likes, a little, I don't care. I care about the clients, honestly, the money that comes into my bank account every month as a result.
Social media likes really don't do much unless you're in a certain space where you're money. Michelle says, the idea that fibbers and fakers were invented by social media is something I'll challenge. Most history in the world has been erased, rewritten, and retold. I agree. I don't think social media is the beginning of this. Absolutely not.
It's catapulted it.
I think that social media has given an additional platform. Like it has given us an additional platform to have a non-traditional show like this. It's given an additional platform for people to pretty much highlight their space and what they want to believe, and it's given the opportunity for YouTubers, and it has made it a bigger place. However, it's also given the other side as well. Social media has also given the opportunity to learn history that was never told, like you said. So social media isn't the enemy in this. That's not the point of this conversation. It's not the enemy. Let's be honest. People using these tools in the manner that they're doing it. And let's not just say people, it's companies, folks.
Yeah.
Companies.
You have to remember, Facebook got into a whole lot of crap before the last election, COVID, all of this, because they are allowing various entities to share incorrect information.
Yeah. Mark Arthur C. Phillips kills.
I don't trust the info found on social media. I just did a search this weekend for credible news source, and Facebook or Twitter was not on the list. See, this is the thing. And social media gets a bad rap in this because there are credible stories being shared on social media every day. Now, I'm sure if you post on Instagram regularly, you would have seen this. If you post anything about COVID, there's a little warning thing that comes up. Actually, this girl that I followed posted a segment from Fox News, and Instagram highlighted it in red and said, "This is false information." And that's the first time I'd seen that. So I didn't watch it because I was like, I don't watch Fox News. I'm not giving this any of my energy today. But it literally said the video that she had shared, this is false information. This has not been verified. So I appreciate that, because at least the social media platform is taking the time to call out these negative stories. So whether you post on anything about, COVID-19, make sure you wear your mask, or you're posting something to the effect of vaccines are going to kill us all, you're getting a flag. It's being notified.
Let's go through some more comments. We're out of time already on this. Carla Jones says it's called confirmation bias, which is seeking and promoting issues that already align with your belief. Nikki Michelle says pre-social media journalists was taking boilerplate press releases and repeating them ad nauseum. Tell me about it. They're still doing that. Credibility has always been questionable for a long time. Well, I mentioned Dan Rather, and we started off this by me mentioning news reporters, anchors like Brian Williams and Dan Rather. That was long before Twitter. 2004, I think Dan Rather, and I think Brian Williams was like 2015. I could be wrong with years, but no, again, the purpose of the convo and the question, folks, is not saying that social media invented this. Let me be clear.
Yeah.
The purpose of the conversation is, has social media given the opportunity for non-journalists to actually add more fuel to that fire, right? Someone put something up the other day saying this pandemic would probably be over without social media. I disagree. But, it makes you wonder how social media would have impacted smallpox, I think it was called, and other years ago. Like that's the point that we're making. But no, I started this conversation off, not sure who's just tuned in, but we started off mentioning Dan Rather and Brian Williams, actual journalists who lost their credibility and in turn lost their jobs. Mark Arthur C. Phillips McKill.
I don't trust we did this one.
Did this one? Sorry, Sam Cat, please.
Engagement is important, but if you keep putting out false information, then engagement is likely to suffer greatly. Oh, of course, unless your base believes you're crap.
Yeah. Leslie White, and then we'll wrap it up with two more.
Social media has pros and cons. So many people have been made millionaires through posting. Well, it's more than just posting, but yeah.
Yeah, but I think people have strategies, the folks that have, not just posting random stuff.
No, it's not just posting. It's definitely a strategy.
It's a business strategy. Again, this is what this show is. It's social media. This is not a conversation to come down on social media, folks. This is a conversation about credibility in the age of social media, right? You took Dan Rather off CBS in 2004. He's now here. You feel what I'm saying? He's on social media. So it's not crapping on social media, the place that we enjoy doing this with you.
Oh no, I would never do that. I love social media. Love it.
Absolutely. Sam Cat Play says, I'm likely to follow outlets that have factual information, especially since it's about protecting my peace. Well,
yes.
I've got a question for you on that as we wrap it up. Who's to say it's factual information that you're following? On that note, folks, it's been a great conversation. Obviously, one of those things, various opinions on it. These type of conversations we hope will take us places where people can do more of, listening and understanding rather than taking, reading, and running.
Yeah.
Even the news that we take in, like, I question people that think CNN's telling the truth because they don't like Fox, or Fox is telling the truth because they don't like CNN. Like,
We know Fox didn't tell the truth.
I don't trust any news outlet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think every news outlet has. You ever seen the chart that shows where they lean? Right. At the end of the day, it takes a lot of time, folks, and most people don't have time to do it. But you have to really verify everything yourselves.
Yeah.
It really comes down to that. We're going to take a quick break before we close out. It's daily playtime, Michaela.
Daily play. Let's go.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right, stick with us.
I have my three children, a 27-year-old and a 11-year-old and a 5-year-old. I have to balance it out. I actually even stopped working Monday to Wednesday just so that I can put in time for the products and I put in time for my family. Because for me, my family comes first over anything. I know I have to run my business so that we can eat and everything, but my children come first. I let them even play a role when I'm making my products. Come on, get up. You can come help me mix it. Come help me put the label on it. So when we talk about inspiring your daughter or your children, I make my children get up there and see what it takes to run a business. Come on, Surrey. This brand, Surrey Shea & Co., is named after you. So you need to help me. You're gonna come, you can do this, put the labels on for me. You can do it. Even my little 4-year-old, I had him do it. Mommy, let me help. So I just let them help, and it teaches them the way.
All right, welcome back, Michaela and myself, Jamel Hartman. It's the Daily Hour. Thanks again to the BDC, One Communications, Lindos, Medicals, our friends over at Channel 80, to everyone who continues to support us doing what we do with you. If you enjoyed today's conversation, please give us a thumbs up, a love, a like. It's time for the Daily Play, brought to you by Heineken 0.0. Great taste, no alcohol. Michaela, are you ready?
She ready.
All right. The author of this quote, we've done one recently.
Wait, what am I doing? I'm naming who said the quote? That's what we're doing? Okay.
Yep. All right.
Go ahead.
Quote, if you're walking down the right path and you're willing to keep walking, eventually you'll make progress. End quote.
I don't know. That could be anybody.
Okay, first hint, it's a politician.
Barack Obama.
Wow.
Well, it was Uncle Barry.
I only did Barack because it's his birthday, but
we have lots of time for Uncle Barry around here. You see how I call him Uncle Barry? I'm already overly familiar. He doesn't even know me yet.
I mean, he didn't invite me to his party. I ain't got nothing for him. But anyway, I weren't good. That's how
you come with me next year. We'll go next year.
I'm not interested. I'm gonna go. Final thoughts, Michaela?
My thoughts on today. I just really want to encourage people to make sure that you are, digesting credible information. Don't just share something because you think it's, true. Like, clickbait is real. Clickbait is a real thing. And we need to be responsible. We need to ensure that what we are putting out there is factual, because you don't know who's reading it and you don't know who's running with it.
Yeah, indeed. What I will say is, even this news stories that you share, read about those news outlets. What's their history, right?
Yeah.
Some of these news outlets could be run by two people in a garage, and they have one purpose and one purpose only: to make sure their politics is heard and accepted.
Exactly.
Enjoyed the conversation as always. You got some daily inspiration for us, Kels?
I sure do. If you are going to quit anything, quit making excuses.
Whew. Oh my.
1-2 punch today. Let's go.
Thanks again to our partners, Medical House, One Communications, and Linders for ensuring that we're able to do this with you on a daily basis. As always, we appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for making us part of your daily routine. If all goes well, we'll be back to do this again with you tomorrow. She's Michaela Ian. I'm Jamel Hartman. My friends, do make it a great day. Peace.